Hold on to your hats, folks, because the social media landscape just erupted. The digital world is ablaze with controversy. Mark Zuckerberg, the man behind the Facebook curtain, has dropped a bombshell that's shaking the very foundations of online discourse. He says the Biden administration pressured Meta to censor COVID-19 content back in 2021, a claim that has sent shockwaves through the tech and political spheres. We're talking jokes, satire, even legitimate scientific debate that went against the official narrative. Content that many believed was essential for a balanced discussion. Zuckerberg now says he regrets caving to the pressure, admitting that it was a mistake to silence voices. He wishes he'd stood up for free speech, a cornerstone of democratic society. This revelation has thrown gasoline on an already raging fire, igniting debates across the globe. It's a battle for the soul of the internet, a struggle between control and freedom. On one side, we have the government, concerned about public health and the spread of misinformation, trying to protect citizens. On the other, we have social media giants, grappling with their role as arbiters of truth and the immense power they hold. Caught in the middle, all of us trying to navigate this digital minefield, where every click and share can have significant consequences. This isn't just about COVID anymore, it's about the broader implications for our online freedoms. It's about the fundamental right to free speech in the digital age, a right that's increasingly under threat. It's about the power governments wield over tech companies and the influence they can exert. And it's about the responsibility those companies have to their users to protect their rights and freedoms. Buckle up, everyone, because this is going to be a bumpy ride. The future of our digital world hangs in the balance. Zuckerberg, in a surprising move of candor, admitted that he wished Meta had pushed back harder against the Biden administration during their previous interactions. Imagine that, a tech CEO admitting they made a mistake. It's not something you hear every day. He confessed that looking back, they might have made different choices, perhaps taking a stronger stance on their policies. He swore that Meta would stand strong against similar pressure in the future, ensuring that their principles are not compromised. He vowed to prioritize their own content standards over political pressure, emphasizing the importance of their internal guidelines. He stressed the importance of Meta remaining neutral, a platform where all voices can be heard without bias. They don't want to be anyone's puppet, manipulated by external forces or political agendas. This is a big deal, folks. It marks a significant moment in the tech industry. It suggests a potential shift in how Meta handles content moderation, possibly leading to more transparent and fair practices. They're signaling a willingness to stand up for free speech, even when it means going toe-to-toe with the government, which is no small feat. The question is, are they serious, or is this just a PR move to appease the critics? Only time will tell if these promises will be kept, and if real change will follow. Zuckerberg's sudden commitment to free speech has left many people scratching their heads. This is the same guy who built an empire on collecting our data and controlling what we see online. Is this a genuine change of heart, or a calculated strategy? Some argue that Zuckerberg is simply trying to appease Republican lawmakers who have accused Meta of anti-conservative bias. Others believe he's feeling the heat from the competition. New platforms with less restrictive content policies are popping up all the time, and Meta doesn't want to lose users. Whatever the reason, this newfound dedication to free speech is a welcome change. But let's not forget, actions speak louder than words. The real test will be whether Meta follows through on its promises. The White House, in response to Zuckerberg's allegations, went into full-blown damage control mode. They insisted that they were just trying to encourage responsible behavior from tech companies. They claimed their only goal was to protect public health during a global pandemic. They emphasized that they never forced Meta to do anything, they merely made suggestions. They respected Meta's right to make their own decisions. Of course, they conveniently glossed over the fact that those suggestions came with the full weight of the United States government behind them. The White House's response highlights the tricky balance between government interests and freedom of expression. The government has a responsibility to protect its citizens, but not at the expense of their fundamental rights. It's a tightrope walk, and one that they haven't always navigated successfully. Section 5. Hunter Biden and the fact-checking Quagmire. Adding fuel to the fire is the whole Hunter Biden laptop saga, a story that has been a lightning rod for controversy and debate. You remember the story the New York Post tried to break about Joe Biden's son just before the 2020 election? It was a bombshell that many thought could sway the election. Meta initially suppressed the story, citing concerns about potential Russian disinformation. This move sparked a heated debate about censorship and the role of social media in politics. Zuckerberg now admits that they shouldn't have touched the story. He has faced significant backlash for this decision. He confessed that the FBI warnings about Russian involvement turned out to be a big nothing burger, a term that has since become synonymous with overblown concerns. He acknowledged that Meta screwed up and promised to do better next time. This admission has led to calls for greater transparency and accountability. This incident underscores the challenges of fact-checking in the digital age. With the sheer volume of information, separating fact from fiction is a monumental task. Social media companies are bombarded with information from all sides, and it's impossible to verify everything instantly. The pressure to act quickly can lead to mistakes, but when they get it wrong, especially during a heated election, the consequences can be significant. Trust in media and institutions can be eroded, impacting public perception and voter behavior. Section 6, Meta and the 2020 election tightrope. Speaking of elections, let's not forget Meta's role in the 2020 US presidential election. They poured millions of dollars into supporting electoral infrastructure. They claimed it was all about ensuring a safe and accessible election during a pandemic. However, some people cried foul, accusing Meta of playing favorites. They argued that Meta's efforts benefited one political party over another. Zuckerberg insists that Meta was completely impartial. He even swore off making similar contributions in 2024 to avoid any appearance of bias. This whole episode highlights the impossible position social media companies are in when it comes to politics. They're damned if they do, and damned if they don't. Any attempt to engage in the political process is met with accusations of bias. Section 7. Republicans cry foul. Unsurprisingly, Zuckerberg's revelations have been met with a chorus of "I told you so's" from Republican lawmakers. They've been accusing Meta of anti-conservative bias for years, pointing to incidents like the Hunter Biden laptop story as evidence. Zuckerberg, for his part, continues to maintain that Meta enforces its rules fairly and impartially. He claims that content moderation decisions are based on their community standards, not political affiliation. But the Republicans aren't buying it. This ongoing battle underscores the deep partisan divide surrounding social media's role in politics. It's a toxic mix of distrust, accusations, and finger-pointing. And it doesn't look like it's going to get any better anytime soon. Section 8. The Supreme Court weighs in. Just when you thought this couldn't get any juicier, the Supreme Court decided to jump into the fray. In a landmark ruling in June 2024, they dealt a blow to efforts to hold the government accountable for alleged online censorship. The case involved individuals who claimed the government had pressured social media companies to suppress their conservative viewpoints. The Supreme Court, however, ruled that the plaintiffs didn't have enough evidence to prove their case. This ruling has significant implications for the future of online speech. It essentially gives the government more leeway to influence content moderation on social media platforms. This is a concerning development for anyone who values free speech online. Section 9. The Looming Shadow of 2024. As if this whole mess wasn't enough to keep us up at night, the 2024 election is just around the corner. And you can bet your bottom dollar that misinformation will once again be front and center. We're already seeing a surge in fake news, propaganda, and outright lies circulating online. Social media companies are bracing themselves for another onslaught of misinformation campaigns. The question is, will they be ready this time? The 2024 election will be a critical test for social media platforms. They need to find a way to combat misinformation without stifling legitimate political discourse. It's a delicate balance, and one that they'll need to get right if they want to maintain public trust. Section 10. Navigating the minefield of misinformation. So, how do we navigate this minefield of misinformation? It's a team effort, folks. We need social media companies to step up their game when it comes to content moderation. They need to be more transparent about their policies and more accountable for their mistakes. But it's not just on them. We, the users, need to be more discerning about what we see and share online. We need to be critical thinkers, questioning everything and verifying before we hit that share button. And let's not forget about the government. They have a role to play in promoting media literacy and combating disinformation campaigns. This isn't about censorship, it's about ensuring a level playing field for everyone. Section 11. The future of free speech online. The stakes have never been higher. The future of free speech online hangs in the balance. Will we allow governments and tech giants to dictate what we can and cannot say? Or will we fight for an internet where all voices can be heard? This isn't just about politics, it's about our fundamental rights. It's about our ability to engage in open and honest dialogue. It's about creating a digital world where freedom of expression is not just a right, but a reality. The fight for free speech online is a fight for the future of our democracy. It's a fight we can't afford to lose. So let's get to work.